Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a YouTube transcript you sent us. It's from English Podcast Zone, episode 12.
That's right. The title is Learn English Quickly with Podcast English Learning Conversation.
And our goal here for you listening is to quickly get a solid grasp on some key English phrases for describing people how they look, basically.
Yeah, and not just the words themselves, but, how they're actually used in conversation, those little nuances.
Exactly. So, the source video features Marco and Erica setting up an elementary English lesson.
Mm-hmm.
They start with this short dialogue about someone who went on a date.
And the very first phrase they pull out is, heard you were on a date last night.
Yeah.
That's our starting point.
Okay, so heard, obviously past tense of here, but what's the extra layer here?
Well, it often suggests you didn't get the info firsthand. It's like hearsay, almost.
Oh, okay. Like maybe a friend told you or you just picked it up somewhere.
Precisely. There's a slight sense of, I found this out, but maybe it's not 100% confirmed. It's not like saying, I know.
That makes sense. The transcript gives some good examples, too. I heard you're dating a new guy.
Yep. Definitely got that grapevine feel.
And Julie told me she heard that you're pregnant. That's even more indirect.
It is. Shows how information can travel through multiple people.
Then there's, what you got fired, I heard that you quit. That really highlights the uncertainty, right? The potential for conflicting stories.
Absolutely. It flags it as information that might need checking. It's about how we often get news, not always straight from the horse's mouth.
Okay, got it. So, moving on. Right after the date mention, one speaker says, now you really have to fill me in. What's fill me in all about?
Fill me in. It's pretty straightforward, actually. It just means tell me about it.
Like, give me the details I missed.
Exactly. Tell me the story. Give me the specifics. The examples they give are good. I'm sorry I was late for the meeting. Can you fill me in?
What happened exactly? Yeah.
Or, I missed the first 5 minutes of the movie. Fill me in. It's a clear request for catching up.
Right. You want the missing information.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the chat in the video moves to the dates job, this guy, David.
Mm-hmm. And that brings up our next phrase, career path.
Career path. So not just a job, but something bigger.
Yeah, it's more about the overall plan or progression of someone's work life over time. The different roles, the direction they're heading.
So when they say David is a junior investment banker at Fortune Bank,
they then say he's on a great career path. It implies this current job is just one step.
a step towards future roles, promotions, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It suggests long-term professional development and, well, a plan. A sense of going somewhere in their profession.
Makes sense. It's about the journey, not just a snapshot.
Well put.
All right. So we've covered heard, fill me in, and career path. The video then revisits the dialogue, asking us to focus on how Irene describes David.
Right. Let's focus on that description. She says, he's really good looking. He's quite tall, around 6'1". He's in his early 30s, and he's got the most beautiful dark brown eyes.
Okay, lots packed in there. Let's break it down. First, good looking.
Yeah. They say it's like handsome or pretty.
But they make a point about usage.
They do. It's interesting. While handsome is perfectly fine, good looking often sounds maybe a bit more natural or modern in casual chat.
Huh. So handsome might sound a little formal or old-fashioned.
To some people, yeah. It's subtle, but language does shift like that. Good looking feels a bit more generally used today, perhaps.
Okay, next part. Quite tall. What does quite add?
Quite here means very or pretty. It emphasizes the tallness.
So not just tall, but noticeably tall.
Exactly. And they mention other ways too, like kind of tall, sort of tall, or on the other end, a bit short.
Gives you more nuance than just tall or short.
Precisely. Degrees of height.
Then she gives the specific. Around 6'1". 6'1".
Yeah.
That brings up measurements, doesn't it?
It does. Big difference depending on where you are. In the U.S. and Canada, it's feet and inches, 6'1".
But elsewhere.
Mostly metric. Meters and centimeters. So 6'1" is roughly 185 centimeters.
And the key thing for you listening is, if you're talking to someone used to feet and inches, saying 185 centimeters might just get you a blank look.
Right. You got to use the local standard for clarity. Feet and inches in the U.S. and Canada.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Okay, next. In his early 30s. Super useful phrase.
It really is. It gives a good sense of age without needing the exact number. Early 30s usually means what, like 30, 31, 32, maybe 33.
Around that range. They explain you can use mid-30s too,
Yeah, like 34 to 36, maybe 37,
in late 30s.
which would be, 37, 38, 39.
And this works for other decades too.
Yeah.
40s, 50s.
Early 40s, mid 50s, late 20s. It's a very common pattern for adults.
Though they point out it's less common for teenagers. You don't really say mid-teens that often.
That's true. It's an interesting point. Maybe because those specific teen years feel more distinct.
Could be. Okay, last bit of her description.
What?
Most beautiful dark brown eyes. Pretty clear. But then the response is interesting. He sounds hot.
Ah, yes, hot.
Let's talk about hot. It means very attractive, right?
Yes, very attractive, good looking, even sexy. But, and this is important, it's very informal.
Right. The video stresses that. It can be seen as, well, impolite.
Definitely. Or even offensive, depending on the context and who you're saying it to or about. It's usually reserved for talking among friends.
Not something you typically say to the person, especially if you don't know them well.
Exactly. It can sometimes sound a bit objectifying, focusing purely on physical appearance. They suggest alternatives like really pretty or gorgeous.
Oh, even gorgeous could be a bit much sometimes.
Context is everything with these words. Hot is definitely on the very informal, potentially risky end of the scale. Use with care.
Good advice. Okay, so after breaking all that down, the video suggests listening again.
Yeah, a third time. To really absorb it all, repetition helps.
And they encourage you, the listener, to actually use these phrases. Try describing someone you know.
Active practice is key. Makes it stick, and you get a feel for it.
They also mention their website, englishpod.com, for questions and practice.
All right, a place to interact and try out the language.
And finally, there's a quick audio review section in the video.
Just listing the key vocab again a bit faster. Heard, got information. Juicy detail, exciting info.
Fill me in, give more information. The good-looking, attractive, hot group for handsome.
And career path, that planned job progression. It's a good, rapid reinforcement.
Definitely. So, wrapping this up, you should now have a better toolkit for describing people in natural-sounding English.
Covering looks, height, age, plus that idea of a career path.
And hopefully a better sense of the little nuances like why you might say good-looking instead of handsome, or use heard when you're not totally sure.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you to chew on. Think about how we describe people. What do our word choices like good-looking versus handsome, or using age ranges like early 30s actually say?
Yeah, what unspoken cultural values or assumptions might be embedded in that language?
It's interesting to consider the messages behind the words we use every day. Something to ponder.